Yeah, that's a smiling boy. Oh, that's a smiling boy. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Hands. Ooh. He's got the fingers, he's got the smile, he's got the chicken dances, he's got the motions. He moves, he grooves a little bit more nicely than he did before. Vacation's lovely, but so is the entire rest of the entire setup that can handle all of the entire rest of all of the entire rest of the entire things. Yes. Alright, camera goes over here because that's where the layouts are. Old habits die hard, and by old habits I mean we are where we need to be. We fix the framing just a little bit more. Bring it on down, right back to where it is that we need to be. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So, we've got roughly an hour for us. Up first, the experiment of today's stream. There is always an experiment. We are practicing yet again with recording locally on this computer where I'm streaming from. We've had mixed results doing that, but we're trying again because that would make the pursuant times considerably more expedient. I have to measure out some of my options because life has become, it's a little bit protocol. Get this man moved in with his partner. Let's handle some of that. And I've gotten pretty good at handling my creative machinations. And how much time does he need emotionally to rest? Because it takes a lot of emotional impetus to pull off a lot of the creative endeavors I seek to achieve in life. And as I've been learning more about streaming, and not the mechanics of it, but emotionally what it means, how that must operate, we've gotten pretty happy and pretty content with that. That requires a lot of balancing. And when are you pushing yourself too far? When do you have more to give of yourself? When do you have to hit the brakes? When can you go? And we're going to be in kind of a similar zone for a little bit, but not so much of the emotional endeavors, because thankfully we've got that dialed in. We're pretty pleased with how things are going on that front. But it's the logistics now, where we got to do like job applications, and we got to sort out finances a little bit, and we got to work on packing, and then we got to work on eschewing. Oh, that's a good word. Eschewing. What materials do we discard? I don't need this thing. This does not spark joy, and I'm going to rent a car to move, because that's going to save like what, $1,500 compared to a truck, and I don't have that much stuff. Might have to say goodbye to the podium. I don't know. We can find another podium, but I will be so sad to lose the podium. It means so much to me. It's very special. But also, there's not a ton of room where I'm going to be moving, so we will just see. That is TBD. We'll figure out the podium situation. We have all of the other situations to figure out as well. Unfortunately, what feels correct in my heart is I love these streams to be about 2 hours, and depending on factors up to and including what it's like recording this footage locally on this computer, we might have to reduce streams down to like about an hour. A little bit less than that depends on just how factors come about. But that is the experiment of today's stream. So if you guys let me know if the audio crackles, if we get a little bit sad or a little more laggy, I feel like it should be fine. I think maybe I've been a little bit more worried about it than I've needed to be in the past. I think Resonite was a large concern of like my two PC setups, because I don't know. We'll see. We will absolutely see. It is time now to catch up. I hate moving with a fiery passion. That's why Snow and I have been in the same apartment for years. I also hate moving. Ooh boy. And this one should be a little bit nicer because mostly I have to get rid of my furniture, decide what I need to bring, what I can just leave behind. And it's going to be hard getting rid of like the books I know I don't need, but if I can just accept I will never utilize the book game design, something like that. Like I've opened it twice, I was like, oh wow, this is game design, and then like I will never reference that. Why do I still have this? It's taking up space, and that's space that I have to move, and I got lots of clothes that are just, they gotta go. They gotta go. They do not spark joy, and the joy that is sparked is moving with more expediency and calm within me. So that's what that looks like. That bleeds a little bit into this stream, what this stream looks like. As I want to do updates, because I just got updates, and that was like the updates of what Finneas Former is up to. And there's so many other things also on the way. Let's see. NV, welcome on in. I can bring books. The 1/3 of the bookshelf behind Electronics Tower is mostly empty. I'll bring some books, but I don't need the books like mass media literature or whatever. that book was marvelous. It helped to inform a lot of my own position as a creator, which I think is actually something that so many people are missing. Is this is mass media. Guy on mountain with megaphone goes ba 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 ba, and then people from below can go like, "Ah," but mostly it's hard for me to hear all of those individual voices, especially as this operation scales up. That's mass media, and that requires a specific mentality. I think a lot of streamers, not a lot, but I've seen people experience challenge in part because I suspect a conflation behind being a streamer versus being personal, and then at some point it has to stop being streaming to friends when you got like 7 to 10 specific, like, here we go, these are the updates, here's what we're doing, etc. Like, here is Finneas Former's daily address. But as more and more people become involved, it just scales up. That becomes mass media. This is the baby steps of it, and that has different mentalities. I have a book that talks about that. It was a college book, and I will never reference that book again. It does not come with me to where we move, because I just don't need that in my life anymore, and it's time to work on the eschewance. Eschew, we must eschew these things. Out with the old and in with the new, and the new is moving in with my partner. I slept in my bed without my partner today, last night, and I was just an exhausted boy, and I had a few glasses of wine. So it was like a wine cooler, I think. It was one of those cartons, a cardboard carton that has wine in it. It cost me $4, and I almost bought an itty-bitty wine on the airplane because my nerves were absolutely fried, because I have been markedly activated the past week and a day, trying to absorb as much time with the fish as possible. And so the flight home, I was too exhausted even to like watch movies, listen to music, and oh my gosh, my head was just busy, except for there is one thing I was watching on repeat. Two things. We'll talk about that in just a second. We're actually pretty excited. Time to hydrate, NV, good looking out. We'll see. We are new to streaming, back in my standard. We love it, but also because we know how temporary it really is, it does some fascinating things, and we'll talk about that. Thanks for hanging out. That's a lot of fun. Is wonderful. Thank you, both Amelia and all people, for sharing with me your time for this time slot. This is Finneas Former's daily address, and I want to make sure it's a good time for all. I have thoughts about that, and we're gonna kind of get to that, baby. And this is a Finneas Former. Here we go. I wasn't planning on talking about this exactly. I just knew that there was a lot to talk about, even though earlier in the stream as I began, I did not know what was going to be on the docket to speak of. You have the little warm-up session, you figure out what it is that you want to say, and we land on it. So, word cannon loads for like 2 seconds here. Oh shoot, okay, gotta be careful here. I'm slipping into the mentality of like, oh, I have something important to say. And I feel like it's important because I feel like all of the things that I ever say are deeply important. But then also, I also feel like if people don't hear them, it's probably a good thing. In one ear and out the other. I don't know, I can't say that for sure. And it's important to move forward with the correct mentality on this, because I was about to come at this exact moment, VOD first. We don't do that anymore. We don't live that life anymore because we live presently in this moment. Lately I've been watching a YouTube channel that shall not be announced, but someone who is not me has been making videos that I enjoy. And there's some thoughts there which I would like to expand upon. That happens probably a little bit later. But a lot of the language lately on that channel is discussing two selves. And they're going like left and right side of the brain, which is a way to consider the same thoughts I consider using much more verbiage. I don't know if it's better language, but it certainly makes more sense to me. Because right now there are these two selves at war. There always are, but as I move forward in the delicate operations I discussed just earlier, there's a lot of life that has to be moved, like in just because we are moving. And things have to be done in order. Shorter stream. How much downtime do we need? Let's go, go, go. Because we gotta do applications. Like 1 month is not very long. We have to proceed with caution. It's important to be on top of my game right now, basically. So this moment of all moments is very important to keep this war of two selves in check. I've gotten decent at that balancing act, but in this endeavor right now, because what I'm doing, my streaming, is one of the things I will be doing throughout this month. When I move, this is a new life thing. Finneas Former, as you see him now, is in the long haul. This is a new thing. This is a new staple. Maybe not this time slot forever, but I'm going to be here. I found something that I thoroughly enjoy and that I must perform, else I will go insane. The platform for words right now is so good. Helps me organize my thoughts, get them out there, and it's just fun being a kitty cat boy. When you put on the tracking, you do the chicken dance, you smile, it's a good time. You love waking up and starting your day this way. It's very important for me for a lot of emotional reasons. The War of Selves I was just describing is the voice of what I sometimes call expediency that handles the details of a thing. That's the details of moving, handling finances, doing job applications, eschewing materials, sorting out, I don't need this does not spark joy. That's a very detail-oriented part of the self. And then you have the emotional part of the self that's like, well, I just want to start up the day and be a cat for a little bit and celebrate life and have calm breakfasts with my partner on Discord again. Old habits die hard, what can you say? And enjoy a moment. And that's kind of two selves. I think this other channel that I've been consuming lately talks left, right side of the brain, which is language I don't love, but it's apt a bit, and what they're going after, the logical side, the emotional side of the brain, I don't think is accurate, but the idea is there, because there is certainly the more logical processing center. When I do a live stream, here's what happens with the footage after, because my enterprise must expand logical language and approach. Then you have the emotional approach also to the same activity. I just like being here. I caught myself just now slipping into the mentality where I'm on a stream that's got to turn into something, so this can grow, so all these things, because logic, like in life, the logistics of the next month are intensive. It's hard to slip in and out of that intensive logistical mindset. Even to the point where, like, I wake up and have one stream, 1 hour, where I'm just going to be a kitty cat and have some fun. I'm going to use some words and thoroughly enjoy this moment and dial all the way in. And step away from the space of expediency, where my mind wants to structure the entire month really carefully to make sure we get everywhere that we need to be. This is not that zone. And I almost slipped into that voice of expediency. Correction, that was my default voice, and I caught myself now about to proceed in this stream, still under the incorrect mentality. Because if I'm able to operate this exact moment with appropriate levels of intentionality, and I can just be an emotional little kitty cat boy, talk about whatever I want to, baby, that's deeply charging for me. That's a satisfying place to be. And how interesting that the actions are the same. I would be doing a live stream no matter what. I will be doing something with the VODs no matter what. I swear to God, because so frequently I tell myself that, and then I've got backlogs, and things must proceed. But only in the correct fashion. I know more about what that has to look like, and I almost began this exact moment from the incorrect mentality, which is fascinating because then by discussing what the correct mentality would be, I myself have once again engaged in the actions of what I was seeking to achieve. In short, I chose not to talk about the thing I decided to talk about because I had decided intellectually to talk about it, and I'd want these streams to be more emotionally driven. So instead, I emotionally talked about not talking about the thing I had decided to talk about, which itself was talking about a thing. Yeah. I still got it, baby. I still got it. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Wahoo! Wahoo! Fruit Snacks, welcome on in. The poor lad. He pops in, he gives the first message, and the second message, my brain hurts now. My brain permanently hurts. I'm happy that you can have a little bit of it too. Oh, that was a good thought. Ha! Hoo boy. Oh, we still got it. That's a good way to start your day. Ah, Good way to start your stream too. We're like 19 minutes in. Oh boy, and we got a good thought in. Ah, you'll love to see it. All right, so we're gonna go to a different part of the world now. Oh, that's so good. Ooh, that's so good. We're gonna pop over to a different part of the world now. We're gonna hit the reset button because I love a good thought, baby. In particular, a thought that doesn't achieve anything. I love talking for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, about the process of talking, achieving, like, you love a good thought. Lovely, lovely stuff. My headset is very low on battery, and my battery pack is very low on battery. I doubt I will be able to make it through the entirety of this stream on my battery powers. I will at some point have to plug into the wall, which will upset me. When we do, I expect fully to be sitting on those couches because I have never sat on one of those couches. That's something to look forward to by the end of the stream. We're going to end the stream on those couches, and it's going to be such a new, refreshing time. And we have another one of those for us, I have decided just now, because up there, if you'll see, for the audio inclined of us, I'm just walking around the world a tiny little bit, basically just killing time, because after focusing so hard on the previous thought that we had, we have to, like, deflate a little bit before we can possibly have another thought. So while the head is empty, we're just kind of like walking around the world a bit. Up there, up the set of stairs there, I gotta move in my play space a little. Up those stairs you see before you. I have filmed one video atop those stairs. I do not think that video was ever released. It was one of the earlier ones where I was learning more about this new model, and I'm permanently learning about myself and everything that I do. But that was just an especially fresh time, and the one video I've ever filmed there has not seen the light of day. We are now going to go up there and not film a video. That would be the voice of expediency and logistics, and I shall not have any inside of my Finneas former stream. I get 1 hour for this. I get 1 hour to wake up and do this, and that will not always be the case. It's part of it. It's growing. Good things are on the way. But for now, we're in a 1 hour. Gotta keep it fresh and quick because life. And so I get 1 hour of this, and are you kidding me? I'm not going to spend it not being up there. So it's time to go up there. Howdy, Oblizious Bean. Welcome on in. Oh, I accidentally went through a portal. Oh, everything is different. Everything is the worst. Where did I go? What did I do? Okay, well, everything is, you know, everything is the worst. Just kidding. How's the lighting in this world? Okay, it was decided for us. Okay, yep, it was decided for us. We're gonna go hang out by this fire then. We accidentally came to this world and my lighting is decent enough to stream here, so we're gonna go hang out by the fire pit. Things are different. That changes things. That changes things. Dag nabbit. I think we have another thought for us. Shoot! It's not a bad thought. I do love this thought. Oh, by the way, Fruit Snacks, welcome on in. Thanks for the follow. So, I don't love the shift which has occurred. Oh, then we're talking about principles. Dang it, this is such a good shift. Okay, we stay the course, we go hang out by the fire, and then we're going to talk about all of the shifts. It's going to be a tightly packed moment. People didn't get happy yesterday when I talked about tightly packed things. People seem to have a lot of thoughts about that, and I don't know about that, but you guys seemed to have thoughts about that. We've got a tightly packed moment ahead of us, though, because what just barely occurred is a series of... a good series of thoughts. Any one of them itself would warrant tons of explanation, and I've talked about, I think, probably all of them at length at some point. So we're going to go hang out by the fire and try and rapid talk fire through everything that just barely happened. Which is following through an emotional cadence of a stream, which I hadn't anticipated. Alright, let's get to it. That's going to be so much fun. Clothed, you're outside, you're going to get cold. That's why I'm going next to the fire, baby. But thank you. Good looking out. Also, I don't know, every now and then, my peers, you know, don't always wear shirts, and I also don't always wear shirts. I am practicing being a little more loosey-goosey, which is part of why we're going to the fire. Within the past week, I did a live stream that did not go quite according to plan. I rolled with it and turned that non-accordance to plan itself into the subject matter of a stream moment. I was pretty happy with where that came about. The challenge became the display which kept the integrity of the display and absorbed the challenge. Not easy to do, but I was pretty happy with how that came about. That same principle, which I theorized and enacted about a week ago, oh gosh, that was only even like 3-4 days ago. I enacted it, somewhat internalized it. I don't know about that, but I enacted it just now. Because I caught myself trying to cling on to a life I wanted to live, and I did in fact witness a very small death of self. Extreme language, we don't have much time, so let's get into that real quick too. There was an entire life I wanted to live, and I lingered on it for so long. It was the stairs. I wanted to film something up those stairs, and I even said I have not very much time. I have to make the most out of any hour that I have because these streams have become reduced in... Time has helped make sure that I must not go on forever. I have to get, I have to be a kitty cat, as much kitty cat as I possibly can, because I only have an hour for these things, and you gotta really treat your hour special. I was so excited to go up the stairs, that was gonna be an entire life. I swear to God, because that informs the day that you're gonna have because of the stairs moment that you had that you were proud of, or you tried really hard at, or whatever, and then you gotta go to work, and it informs your life. Everything that you do informs everything which happens. That's a life. And I was excited to go up those stairs, accidentally walked through a portal, and my entire stairs life crumbled. Everything is the worst. And I can either retreat back to the stairs, hold on to the moment which was that I was so very excited about, or I can move forward into a new moment. I immediately have to make a snap decision because this is happening live. Not even that, because life itself is also happening live, permanently. The more time I waste in any moment making a decision, the more time I am spent not in a decision, not living the life of a choice. I am waiting and lingering on the death of a moment. Do I go back to the stairs world, or do I move forward and embrace the unexpected change? In this moment, I made the snap decision. We're going to embrace the change and roll with it. That's one of the principles I uncovered on the stream 4 or 5 days ago, where also something unexpected went wrong. I rolled with it and was quite pleased with the result. We now make brief mention of another philosophy I've heard of, and I've never been able to make heads or tails of it, but I think it applies now, so I'm going to bring the language into question and then just walk away from it. I just want to bring this up so I can see how it tastes in this circumstance. I have heard it said that suffering comes from wanting things to be different than they are. I have never understood that. I hate that, but I don't know why, and it just doesn't make sense to me. That's it. That's pretty much it. I walked away from the stairs moment on accident by coming into a different world. I wanted things to be different than they were because things had changed. I did not want the change. I wanted to go back to the stairs world, but the moment itself had become a different world. I wanted things to be different than they were, which was causing me misery. I made a snap decision. We're going to move forward instead of retreating backwards and maintain the change we're within. I no longer desire things to be different than they are, and after leaning into this moment, by employing the actions of a handful of streams ago, rolling with the changes, you know what, things got better and we're not really suffering, and for a moment, a golden moment, guys, we were suffering. It was pretty bad. The death of self, my stairs life, I was sad. I was not happy. I was panicking a little bit because it's my first stream back in my apartment. You gotta stay on task because I'm moving soon. Like, things are happening right now. Life is happening now. Gotta move fast, and I'm getting hung up on the stairs thing. Everything's the worst. Roll with it. Here we go. So far, this moment's not so bad. And making a decision out of a place of challenge, a space of limbo, went pretty well so far, I think. We're still in the middle of it, of course. But it seems like ceasing the desire for the world around me to be different than it is has yielded a benefit, and consistently, when I accept a present moment and roll with the change, so too do those historic moments tend to go at least not worse than they might have otherwise. I still don't know if I abide by the philosophy or not. It still doesn't make sense to me, but it does unfortunately seem to apply now. I still can't make heads or tails of it, and I'm going to walk away from it now. I don't like it, but I did want to bring it up. And it is one of the things which did run through my mind as I was trying to process quickly. The stairs are dead. What do we do? Whew. Oh man, the word canon loads for a second, because I think we touched on almost everything that ran through my mind in that flash moment when I accidentally stepped into the wrong world. Alright, and then I think there's one final place I do want to take it. Oh, I do love my thoughts, baby, and sometimes we got a lot of thoughts, and when you have to condense those, hoo boy. Yeah. As I was doing the considerations behind the stairs moment is dead, do I move forward or do I retreat? A decision must be made now. What information do we have recently that I can apply to this moment of challenge to help us move forward? Philosophy I've been chewing on and don't know yet, and then also something I learned on stream a handful of days ago. Maybe let's apply those. We'll make the decision and execute. In that same terrible time, it lasted about 20 seconds of strife. It was a big 20 seconds. Hoo boy. Man, we made it through, but that was dodgy. That was a dodgy 20 seconds. This thought also came through the mind in a really big way, and was part of the decision-making process, even though I didn't love it. Because I knew if I move forward with embracing the change, which did occur, it was occurring, like based on which direction I fall, go back to stairs, or move forward into fire. What I would be discussing as I embraced the change is the change. I knew that I'm going to be just so hung up on the moment of shift to the fire that I would have to speak of the shift of fire. So I saw, as I accepted the change, what the change would look like. I saw the next 15-20 minutes of my life. It was going to be this, and lo and behold, it has been this. More mechanisms talk, more, this is what we're doing rapidly, this is the second headset battery low moment. So we are interrupted by emergency, sit on floor next to fire protocol. Give me a sec. And honestly, there's worse places to sit. There's worse places to sit. Headset battery. I only got 1 hour to enjoy these things now, because this month is jam-packed with fun. It is a tightly packed month. Alright, we're sitting on the floor, and we've never been happier sitting at the floor next to the wall. It's a good wall. We've got the fan going. Nice, gentle breeze, the fire off to the side. Living large. I better save some for everyone else. The only reason that the perfect understanding of what future life was going to look like as I embraced this moment, opposed to retreating to the moment previous, is I knew I would have to trust myself in the expression of these very ideas. I like my ideas, do not get me wrong, but sometimes I do worry that all I talk about are my ideas. I don't know why I get insecure about that, because my ideas are my own. It's the stuff I get excited about, and I like hearing myself be excited about the things that I'm excited about. But because I've also run through all of these thoughts in my head so many times, to me, they are uninteresting. They are droll. Are you kidding me? If I go forward into fire moment, I have to talk about all of the decisions that go into that. I don't want to have to do that for the next 20, 25, however many minutes. It's going to take so long. Okay, whatever. So, get out of here. And understanding of myself that those conversational pieces were things I would have to engage with if I were to move forward in the new, unanticipated moment is fine. All it means is, as I move forward, I have to be myself. Because I lack the energy to try and be anything else, in particular because these streams are now reduced. I only have an hour to do this. I don't have time to waste trying to be anything other than myself. if that means I move forward to the fire moment and have to consume the following 20 minutes talking about the decisions to come into the fire moment, that's fine, because you don't have time to waste, and if that's what you have to do to move on and accept the moment, so be it. Get to it. Let's hit it. And we certainly did. And that was, again, one of the thoughts which ran through my mind as I decided, do I retreat or move forward? Because the moment of unknown was causing me misery. I had to make a snap decision, and we did, and now we're here. Those are all of my thoughts. That was so many thoughts. Oh, that was so many thoughts, and I wasn't able to talk to you guys during any of them. So I'm gonna turn around where I'm at, because you guys are up there in the corner now. I'm gonna go look at you guys. Because now I'm done with my thoughts, and I'm free. I was not free. I was a slave to my thoughts. That's not true. That's not true. I engaged within my thoughts. But it was something that I demanded of myself, and I did in fact reach the fullness of thought, and we're very happy with that. Man, that took a second to get out. Goodness gracious. It's really interesting too when a thought turns out to be for the video, well, for the audio inclined of us. I'm just moving the camera around and I'm shifting around to figure out the best placement so I can see you guys really good. Wahoo. That was a lot of thoughts, man. And you're never going to be like too ashamed of all of your thoughts. Sometimes I'm ashamed of my thoughts. And that just holds me back. And it's not like I was going to be doing anything particularly different. That was about 20 or 30 minutes, 20 minutes maybe? I don't know. It's not like it's a problem. But we still have a good, 25, maybe 30 minutes left of stream. So we sped run those thoughts. And now we're here without anything else to say, though. Which is usually when I would stand around, let's go to a different part of the world and fiddle-faddle. And it's like, well, I used all of my energy. And I didn't think about what would happen on the other side of the expression of my thoughts. All I did was express my thoughts. That the faster I get through it, the faster I'm on the other side of it. And depending on how well I do or do not structure my words, it might happen to package up into a pretty specific little moment. That was rapid fire, like, that was all just tons of words. You don't have to, like, that was just rapid fire 3 processes of emotion. Like, that was a jam-packed 20 seconds or whatever the thing was, right? And I happened to have a somewhat decent understanding that that would tidy up into a VOD. Like, that was just a presentation of thoughts. That's all that was. That was just pretty strict rapid fire. Here we go. Or I'd call it, like, something Spec says pretty frequently is 6 out of 10 is still pretty good. Like, that's a good day. And to lower, where am I in my play space? Ridiculous. I can't work like this. But that's a successful day. That's well done. Or like in American football, a 4-yard gain that's a successful play. It's not shiny, it's not flashy, but it's consistent. It's a good 4 yards is not a bad play. And a 6 out of 10 day is a good day. That's a good life. That's just above average. I guess something like that's the German scale of happiness is something that I heard from Spec. And I don't love it because I want my days to be 7 or 8 out of 10. Those are the good days. And it's like, well, no, lower your metrics there. You're talking above average. And if everything was above average all the time, you have an above average life. That's great. That's happy. That's nice. That's fantastic. And that's stable too. You're not so far from the norm. Like, you're not going to crash there. That's good. And I understand that a lot of what I do strive to do is a 6 out of 10. You know, just above average, baby. As long as you're not displeased when you put on a Finneas Former, a VOD, or what have you, that's a pretty good time. That's all that we're really looking for, is just a bit better than maybe it would not have been, a bit better than my peers. You know, I don't love that language, but above average, a good 6 out of 10, man. C's get degrees, and we're gonna go for a C+. Not bad. You know, sure, why not? And that's a metric I'm comfortable in being able to execute, more or less. I have a lot of confidence in what it is that I do, enough so to be able to do it pretty casually and be pretty pleased in like a 6 out of 10. Well, it's gonna be good. And with that confidence in what I do comes the knowledge that I could pretty easily chop up the thing that I do, and that's gonna be your 6 out of 10 experience. Here you go, baby. I threw some words together. I liked them well enough, and there you go. and they package up in just the correct way. This is why it's so challenging for me to stave off the voice of expediency. That's what I was calling it. The logical one that wants to structure things in a good way. Because if I have the capability and the confidence in myself to produce 6 out of 10 material, then that part of me wants only to produce a lot of 6 out of 10 material, and when I'm producing something, to try and keep that 6 out of 10 mentality in line. We're in the middle of a thought, how do we make sure this is going to chop up into a really tidy VOD by the end, so that you can have your 6 out of 10 output from something that's happening anyway. So I have the confidence that that system is in play. I think the skill set, after honing it for a year, to just kind of be able to, like, it's just naturally, I'm satisfied. But still, I'm warring with that voice I started the stream with, where I'm loving the moment where I have to power through all of the thoughts that I'm having and truly be myself, as concentrated as I can for the next 20 minutes of speech to get through where I'm at and proceed with the remainder of my life. I still don't know how to live presently and perform the exact actions with the exact output as a future-thinking mentality, which also would produce the same actions and the same output. I do not know what to do with that. I've been at war with that? Dang it. I don't know, man. And trying to figure it out is some of where the 1 hour limit comes in, I think. Because I don't know. I'm figuring it out. We'll try. And one of the consequences of all of this is I am so less worried about, like, keeping up with chat. Is this what the other boys and girls are doing? I don't know. And it's like, bitch, I only have an hour for this now, for this month at least, because things are in process. I'm not going to spend that 1 hour worrying about what are the other boys and girls doing. It's like, bitch, what am I doing? Head tilt into it with your mouth flap and see what happens. Yeah, and I have confidence there that whatever it is my mouth says, it's gonna be okay, and I can either unsay it or say more and dig the hole deeper. Which itself is part of the process. I wasn't trying to get out of trouble, I just wanted to see how much trouble I could get in. Oh, wow. But then if you study the mechanism of hole digging, then you can convince yourself that you're doing good no matter how much garbage you're shoveling. It's awesome. Oh my gosh, which is actually a somewhat decent mechanism for getting through challenging times. We're gonna move away from this fire. Let's see. It doesn't feel good to go to the stairs moment, but oh, actually, so for the audio inclined of us, you can't really see it very well. There's a log with a rock, and then there's a tree. And I'm not really up to anything else. I am banished to the floor next to my wall outlet. So we are going to perambulate and see if I can jump atop that structure, and then we're going to live our lives from there. It'll be a fun little activity for us after I spent all of my energy, all of my kitty cat points, talking about all of my systems, and I get so tired of it. And the reason I get tired of my systems talk is I have so many systems all of the time. That's all that my head talks about and thinks about for years at a time, is systems upon systems. And so when I came to the fire moment, it's like, am I gonna really need to talk about my systems for 20 minutes? And I did, but then I had to focus on my systems, and now I have no more energy to use all of my talking, and I like talking so much. But what I feel like doing right now is climbing. So I'm gonna change the camera to be a cute position. I'm gonna try climbing, and once I succeed or fail and accept my failure or success, we will then move on from there. That was a fun one. I liked that one a lot. That was a fun one. That was fun. Alright, so we're gonna go into fly mode and fix up the camera. So we're just gonna like fiddle faddle a little bit with just visual VR chat. We're gonna be a furry for a little bit. Just gonna be your good typical furry VTuber, I think. And then we're gonna go from there. So where am I? Wow. Life is a platformer. I don't know if I can make this jump. Yes! It It wasn't actually as satisfying as I had thought that it would be, but it's kind of fun being up here, and I kind of think no one can stop me, so we might just do this for a little bit. No one can stop me, and I really feel like people should, and that's actually what we're going to talk about for a little bit, and stream's going to be done pretty soon. This is silly. This is silly. No one can stop me, and I think that someone should. This is silly. I love it. I haven't been silly since before the war. But here we go, okay? So, oh, that's actually terrible framing. I'm gonna go nuts. Okay, it's silly, but it's not that silly. Yeah, on occasion, I sometimes get the impression that people should stop me. Not really, but I do, disrespectful things with language on occasion. And that would mean typically thought of as being I disrespect things or people using language, but something disrespectful you can do with language is also paying disrespect to language, and I frequently put words together in a way that I don't think words were meant to be put together. No one can stop me. I love that, but it's a lot of power, and it's a little bit of why I decided to do what I decided to do, is because no one was putting words together in the way that I decided to put words together, and I just wanted to see what would happen. Cool things happen. It gets you a fish boyfriend and little people who are like, oh wow, I love these words too. But it's fun being irresponsible with language just to see what happens when you put words together in orders that not many other people are using. It expands out into actions as well, such as when I do some minor platforming on a Twitch livestream, and then I was up in the very corner of the screen, and I was like, I'm gonna stay here, haha, and then I looked critically, and I was like, actually, that's just bad framing. Come on, buddy, and I corrected it, right? But I did have that genuine thought where no one can stop me. I can do that if I want to. It's not great framing, but also I'm in power. That's kind of freeing, so long as I'm okay with the outcome of a brief moment of a live stream that is of poor framing. Then you can frame things however you want and operate the stream in accordance to one's deepest desires, and I think that's part of the risk you run when you try to live a presently minded life, as I so too seek to live these streams as strictly presently as I possibly can. Some of that might again have to do with expediency, which is just the theme of today's stream, I suppose. But it makes sense for me to be as rested as possible to spend one concentrated hour being a kitty cat, because that restores me so I can then go about and make logical sense, more or less, in other parts of my life during all of the other 23 hours of a day. But this hour is going to be sacred, and if I want bad framing in this moment, so be it. Oh, that thought took a little bit too. Oh no, that thought took a little bit, and I'm running out of my thought energy. Bye, Amelia. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for saying goodbye, although it has probably been too late because I don't always keep up with chat the way that I would like to. I hope that you have a wonderful time wherever it is that you must go. The paws look cute. Thank you, Extreme Metal Goth. I sure appreciate that. And it's going to be time for stream to tidy up before long. This 1 hour thing is going to kill me. But it's a temporary state of affairs, and based on how the other elements of the month proceed, I mean, good things are on the way, but it's time to execute, not just plan. And I'm curious to see what's going to come about the other side of things. I used up all of my thought energy, though, so I'm going to lay down on this log, because that's pretty close to the wall still, and I'm still plugged in. Although at this point, if stream's going to be done soon, I could probably stand. How much battery do I have? I got enough. I got 23%. That's enough. We're going to stand. I got some stand energy. Hoo boy. Hoo boy. Ah. Time for zoomies. I do have zoomies. I always have zoomies at times like this. And I guess we're going to tidy up with a little bit of a physical, kind of like what I think is coming up. And normally I do not love doing that, so this is a moment of confliction. We're going to engage with it, and to express the moment of confliction, we're going to go to a framing, which also conflicts me. There was like a pylon here somewhere. I mean, well, oh, that's my... What did I just bump? What did I do? My closet is there. Over here was a pylon. I thought it'd be an interesting framing, so we're going to go hang out by the pylon. Where was that pylon? Here we go. There's a pylon in the middle of nowhere. Look, there's a trail and there's a pylon. So we're gonna go hang out by the pylon, and then we're gonna talk about the thing that I don't know how to feel about, but we're gonna really thoroughly enjoy it all the same. What a what a pylon. What a good pylon. Hello, excuse me, you love this pylon. Typically speaking, I do not like talking about my machinations. And I've talked a lot on stream recently about pressure. Pressure's building up. And some plans I'll say, like I'll try starting, and it's like, oh, no, you don't get that yet. You have to wait. I've said that a few times. And I think that there's been enough waiting, both for you good people at home and also for myself. A lot of planning has gone into all of this, and something I had long considered is talking about my plans, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and some of what I fear in speaking of my plans is finding holes in them as I speak, which happens a lot with my thought processes anyway. And if I don't speak of my plans, then there are no problems with my plans, and then I get to be a man who has plans. I've had plans for a long time and different ideas, and I've wanted to keep them really close to my chest so that as they build up, the pressure cooks, you can release it and have something truly marvelous. I think that has to die. It has to do with that kind of month of machinery, whatever. And I think plans might go a little bit better crowdsourced, even just to myself, and talk it out and see some of what I have coming up and get people's ideas on it and whether that would be a good path forward or not. So it's not just me thinking about what I want to do, because I will often just think I'm more capable than I am, which is not meant to be downplaying myself or my abilities. It's just I am not at the stage where I can host a barn raising on my own, and that's like stage 8, and I'm probably on like stage 3 or something like that, right? Like I'm just not capable of stage 8 things. That's not saying like, oh, you lack belief. It's like, nope, it's just I'm living a year in the future. I believe in myself a year from now, but that's just now is not the time. That's fine. That's not speaking ill of myself, and I think people often mistake self-doubt for just I'm not there. Like I can't. That's not something that that I'm not. It's not a lack of belief. It's a different thing than that. So in talking through some of my plans and ideas, hopefully I can figure out what is actionable versus what is a cool idea but not something I can pull off. And it's going to be hard to consider these things in more real ways because I only have a month. My stream is reduced and that's too bad, but hopefully that gives me time and impetus to start doing more with it. And I guess I want to talk about what my immediate imaginings are for where I would like this to go in the future, what that might entail, and then see if that works or not. We can't get into all of that within the hour, and I do need to keep this to about an hour. So that might be a teaser for tomorrow. That's not very nice of me. That's not very nice of me at all, but I think it might be a teaser for tomorrow, because the thought I just spoke of will take a good 10 to 20 minutes to get out. Then I have to wrap up stream, and then because it's going to be a bit of a chonker thought, it's going to take time to consider it after speaking it, and I have enough other things to consider at the moment. We have to keep these to about an hour for reasons unbeknownst to me. It's just what feels correct. Actually, I do know. It's because of the emotional energy that has to go into one of these streams is the same emotional energy which has to drive the heart of my application processes. I need to save some of my heart for the other parts of life. There we go. So I talked about the thing I want to talk about tomorrow, which also does give me a day to think more fully about the thing I do want to discuss, which is some of my plans moving forward. And I have to figure out some of those plans also, not just what I want to do with my creative endeavors, which is what I want to discuss pretty badly right now, but my plans as far as applications and moving, and maybe I'll sort out some stuff, because finding out what clothes I want to donate will feel like I'm making progress to the future, and that's something I can do easily while listening to a video, or this VOD perhaps, but that's going to be a bicycle ride thing. There we go. Hopefully the cliffhanger is okay. You'll get a continuance tomorrow. I'm excited for it, because I don't always know what I'm going to say on these streams, but I know at least one thing I'm going to say tomorrow, which is some of my ideas preliminarily for what it is that you have seen today. Looking forward to it. Should be good. Huh. 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 Okay. Yeah, gotta go. Tidy it up, and we tidied it up. So that is going to be the entirety of the stream. Short and sweet with an abrupt ending. We gotta get used to these, but hopefully good things are on the way through it, and because of it, look forward to the next one. But there's so much to do and so much moving to prepare for. So I'll see you guys about the same time tomorrow, and I'll try and get that more consistent so you guys know, it's this time he's going to be here. So more of that on the way too. But thank you guys for tuning in ever so briefly, and I'll talk to you guys later. More plans and ideas tomorrow, and more things to come. Bye bye.